Hello, party people. I'm Ellis, your host of the Say All-Star Hackathon. I am the president of Web3 and AI with Hacker Earth, and we're super stoked to have Owen with us today talking about building DeFi and financial apps on Say. Make it pretty quick in terms of handing it over. So with that, Owen, I'll just hand it over to you and kick this thing off.
I appreciate it. All right, cool. We're live. It looks like there's a little. I'm seeing double on the docs, but we'll avoid that on the other screen share. But yeah, no, I'll kick it off with a quick intro, and then I'm just gonna dive right into it with building DeFi on Say. I am Genie, as Ellis alluded to. I believe I'll also have Alex joining as well. I manage everything that is the DeFi eco here at Say, so work very closely with builders on Say, and then just in general. Kind of like where I want to go with this whole entire presentation is kind of more, like how do you build in DeFi or just like financial applications on chain, but also like kind of like what they don't tell you when you are going to build on chain, and kind of like how you hit scale in a sense. So like take it from 0 to 1. So like want to get you guys started, but also just want to give you tips and maybe some tricks to understand like, all right, what is scale? Because as myself, not a coder, just know SQL really well. As my past life was in data. But yeah, with that, we can kind of jump into the presentation here and start going through it. So yeah, this is building DeFi. I'm Owen. Alex will also be on as well. Our agenda for today is going to be first just like kind of what's DeFi, why we building it, and then eco overview. Like I said, what they don't tell you, what can you build, Say support that we provide, and then dev resources, which Alex will take off. So first, it's like, why do we DeFi? Why do we just not do this like off chain? And it's kind of like obviously what DeFi enables, and that's just the fact that you can touch or provide an application to everyone in the entire world. So like this permissionless exchange of value, I'm sure whenever you pitch your parents or tell them that you're looking at crypto or working in crypto, you probably allude to like either payments or financial applications. And this is the reason why, right? It's this exchange of value. And then it's like this ability to create financial instruments by way of like composable yields. This starts from like everything from bringing T-bills on chain. So if you work with a centralized exchange and you can bring in your stables, which is USDC, USDT, and you can earn 4%, all the way to like what Pendle has recently been doing, which is a little bit more attuned to actually like TradFi in like interest rate trading, which is very cool. And then just like foundations of DeFi that like you should always just kind of like keep in mind whenever building of like, does it kind of fit into this bucket? If it doesn't, like, can I create another bucket? Which is also room to do. And that's just like token generation. So obviously you guys probably play around with maybe Pumped Up Fun. And that is like at its core, the best way of token generation, but it's also like tokenizing things like T-bills and allowing you to get yield off T-bills. Stable coins, definitely needed. AMMs, which is like DEXs, this like exchange of value I want to swap. And then money markets, right? I want to put in some collateral and borrow against this. Again, very TradFi. With that, we'll go into just kind of like an eco overview. And the main goal here is to show you what is currently on Say, and then we're going to follow this up with like opportunities, green space for people to build new applications that like we either don't have or we could see better applications. So we'll start with DEXs, right? Like for your Uniswap lovers, we have Sailor Swap, Dragon Swap, and Carbon. All very similar. Carbon is like, I would say, a little bit novel in the fact that you can do some different strategies. For Balancer, you have Jellyverse, and the reason why I'm going to go through kind of like why you need 3 DEXs here. But then for like Aerodrome, we then have Yaka, but these all provide like their own novel use cases and are major primitives for a reason. So Uniswap, obviously, as you guys know, is more so for like volatile assets. So like your BTCs, your ETHs, and pooling through concentrated liquidity or XYK mechanisms, which again, we can dive into. And then Balancer here, Balancer is more so for stable swaps. So like I want to swap USDC for USDT, it is optimized for these stable swaps. And then Aerodrome is optimized more so for yield farming. So pumping up yields on pools by way of trading and bribes. And then you wrap this all into an aggregator, which is like the main thing any DeFi ecosystem needs if they have multiple DEXs. Because as a user, I just want to go and find the best rates all over the place. And this is where you find this by way of an aggregator. Most of you probably use 1inch, CowSwap, and for us, or Jupiter if you're on Solana, and for us, this is Symphony, just a great team and great for onboarding as well. You then have money markets, right? You have Compound, and that is Takara, and then you have Aave, which is Yay. And Yay is our largest application on Say right now with great yields on USDC. Also strong team, and these primitives right here, first you probably need a DEX, second you need a money market whenever starting a DeFi eco. So love these teams. Then you have derivatives. These are actually net new applications for Say. So Filament is very cool, kind of a little bit more attuned to Hyperliquid. And then Citrix is something similar, but you also have, let me go back, like this off-chain order book style thing. So we'll just keep flicking through these and get to some good parts. Staking, we have Silo and Kryptonite. So this is just taking Say and depositing it in, earning a yield by staking, right? We've probably all done e-staking here. If you haven't, it's the same thing. And you get out then a LST. So like you stake Say, you get iSay, and now you still have this like liquid token to play around within Say DeFi. Structured products, this is actually probably like one of my favorite categories and where I think like a lot of DeFi will build. And it started kind of like with Yearn in a sense, and we have Pit Finance. And these are just like vaults where I can take USDC, put them in, and then these vaults like go and generate yield for me. And I think this is so great because for the basic user, I don't want to try and push 30 different transactions. I just want to put my money into a vault and earn the yield and have someone manage it for me. Okay, now like kind of more so towards like maybe what they don't tell you or like some taboo things. And it's like whenever you're like creating an application and you probably like will fork a GitHub, you're like, you don't really like think about needing an audit or like, okay, like the last guy kind of did the audit for me, security isn't needed, but like this isn't like the way that you want to go about it because you're going to end up in a similar situation to this of like, your CTO was like, we should have gotten an audit, and the CEO is like, I didn't have the money for it. So at Say, we provide some good tools to help people with security audits, and we can go through those as well, but always need an audit. The second one is like a common thing with builders, like if I just build this thing, like really cool application, like people are just going to come. The thing is like, that's like 20% of all of it. And I know it's like kind of obvious, but like this is what most people think of. Like, just, okay, I'm going to build an application and a bunch of people are just going to come and use my protocol. Like, it's so cool. But like, this is what it turns out to be, right? Like, you're just kind of like, I have this cool application and no one's using it, right? You're in the middle of nowhere. And that's like the last memes there. Actually, one more, like, you think it's Times Square and you've got, your lovely dApp that everyone's looking at. The last thing I'll say here is, whenever you are creating an application, your users are going to be your Times Square for you. So with that, we'll move on. But again, we'll highlight more of this in a few more bullet points here. Net new ideas and products like normally win. I think what the analogy I like to make is, right, if you have Uber in the United States, like, you may have Gojek in Indonesia or something, right? Like, that is like a net new idea for a net new audience. But anyone who then tries to create the second Uber or Lyft, right, you can have some competition, but then at some point the market share like dwindles. So net new ideas and products will almost always win. And that can be through marketing. It can be through innovation on your protocol layer and tech layer. It can be moving to a new chain, which is, again, a new region. So yeah, cheers to you if you're building new products. Building in stealth. So like, this is kind of one of those things that, if you do have this like really new novel primitive, you're like, I should probably build in stealth so no one can see what I'm building. I actually think this is a little bit of the wrong way to think about it. Especially in crypto, maybe in a traditional sense, like, it makes sense. But in crypto, like, if you're actually building in public, you increase mind share, right? Like, it goes back to this point of, if you build it, they will come. Like, if I'm building in public, like, more people are likely to come and check out what I'm building. People love to see faces. If you're just a protocol that is tweeting from a logo, no one really is going to trust you until you probably throw your face out there, or like, you build some credibility. You can be Smokey the Bear. You can put on a bear hat and go on a panel. It's still showing that, like, you're living, breathing, and you are a smart human, pretty much. So yeah, like, no, don't try and build in stealth. And then I must launch with 20,000 users. This is also, like, I guess, a little bit conflicting to, like, if you build it, they will come. But like, if you're building a DeFi application, like, you really just need 2 power users at first. One that really gets like the UX side of it. You can kind of keep like the ecosystem healthy, and then one that can provide liquidity. Like, those are 2 things like you just need. If you can get those, then everything else will follow. So yeah, this is a rough list for this. I think there's a lot more that goes into this that is sector specific, but I just wanted to highlight this. So it's another no. This is the overview. If you want to take a screenshot of the list. Okay, what can I build? Probably kept you waiting long enough. But like, in terms of dexes, like, we have a lot of dexes. I think maybe we could use another balancer style dex or aerodrome style dex. But like, Curve is an open code base that no one has yet explored or built on Say. And I think just seeing how successful Curve has been in the past, like, this is definitely an application that is easy to immediately get your feet wet with. Start coding and explore kind of like a very basic front end. If you saw Curve's initial front end, like, it was very retro. I guess it kind of went into their marketing a little bit, but like, you can kind of like take Curve and make it live on Say pretty quickly. So I think it's, again, an easy one to get your feet wet with. These are probably 2 that are like extremely hot in terms of what builders have been exploring, and just obviously, again, with the pump fun meta, like, what is quote unquote cool or interesting for users. And these 2 applications are Flaunch and Clanker. So I actually went ahead and I think last Friday created tokens for this hackathon and on Flaunch and we'll see Clanker. And the way that Flaunch works is that you simply put in a ticker, you put in a name, you put in a description. I think you pay something like $12 to the application, which most likely will go back to you, the builder, and then you can distribute it as needed. And then we'll launch this fair launch. I think it needs to get to 10K. Doubt that this has got there. I have not looked at it since. But again, this took me 15 seconds maybe, plus another 15 to go and get this picture, right? Then we go here and we go to Clanker. So Clanker actually is probably my favorite way to launch a token that I've seen. I think, again, fun is great. You can kind of get initial liquidity in, but for Clanker, it's really cool. You're simply adding, if we move left to right here, you're adding Clanker. You're saying, hey, Crack Devs wants to launch a token for testing. You give it a name, a ticker, an image, and it replies immediately. It's kind of like an AI bot, and I can share the docs on kind of how this works. And then it says, hey, gives you kind of some witty thing. It says, yeah, I deployed it. And then also it's already deployed. I can go on to Uniswap on Base. I can search this token address or All-Star, the ticker, and I will find this ticker. Again, probably zero trading volume on it because, again, what do we learn? If you build it, they will not come. I probably need to spin up a Twitter for this. I need to get traction. Maybe you guys are the traction for it. You guys can own it from now on. Yeah, these two, if I were to highlight two applications, are probably the most needed on Say in respects to how easy it is to launch a token. The last two we'll go over. The first, money markets. Morpho has been one of the best money markets that we've seen to come out of DeFi since, I guess, DeFi summer. And it kind of offers more composable, I'm going to call them vaults, but composable markets to where you can have really intelligent folks come in and spin up net new markets. It doesn't just have to be a USDC market. It can be a USDC market that lends on other applications and earns an equivalent of their yield plus the other application to make your, again, I'm going to call it a vault, more attractive. So Morpho is really cool, also open source. And it's actually surprising that I didn't know this is one of the easiest code bases or I guess least lines of code if I'm talking to the devs, and very simplistic. So was surprised to hear that, and I think it would be cool for you guys to check out. Next one is just stable coins. I think no one has built MakerDAO or Sky, which is now named as, which is probably the leading decentralized stablecoin right now. And again, has been battle tested. Still need an audit for it, but is one of those ones that is kind of it has found product market fit. And then if you just want I just want to get started. I don't really care what primitives are needed. I just kind of want to build what I want to build. I've kind of built out this list of all open source DeFi projects that are prominent. So after, I would be more than happy to try and share this with all you guys. But yeah, again, good place to get started. I think next we'll go to Say support. So I mentioned, you have all these different applications that you can build, but it's how do I make it so when I build this application, people will come to this application? Or how do I know how to fork a code base? How do I know how to plug into Say? And that's where we provide you with this what I call the Bible for all devs. So it walks you from everything as much as like, what does the ecosystem look like right now to like, how do I deploy a contract? And then even like discounts for other infrastructure, or like just free services from other infrastructure that will benefit any builder. And some of my favorites here that I want to dive into, and again, can share these links, is this like essential guides. I think this highlights the if you build it, they will come moment of like, we give you, I'm going to crown the Twitter growth guide first, to like, these are just very simple things to walk through, look at them, and kind of have like aha moments throughout all of it. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Like I should be doing that. That's kind of why maybe some of the other Twitter accounts are popping off, why mindshare is so prevalent right now. And it's honestly like, if you're loud enough, like you generate signal. And this is, again, a great way to find out how to do this. The community growth guide, everything starts with community. If people trust you, if people believe in the vision that you're building and they want to get behind you and they want to also preach this vision, they are going to be your best advocates. So again, it starts with those power users, right? And then lastly, this guy, Abitej, who has built out Filament, that really cool Perps protocol that I alluded to earlier. He is probably the best case study for founder-led marketing, which I think is starting to become like the main way you need to market your brand these days. Just because, again, you're showing that you're a human. Like, you've built this. You're intelligent and you know what you're doing. Next one is just the Say ecosystem directories, right? Like where you can go find all like the DeFi applications. But more so like what I want to highlight here is like the data and infrastructure, right? There's like a ton of free infrastructure that Say can provide to you guys that will make, one, your application better, but also two, like keep money in your pockets. Next, we'll go to marketing support. So this kind of goes into like the Twitter growth guide and community guide. And this is built out by our entire marketing team to say like, how do we give any net new builder like an immediate chance to hit scale? And this is the outcome of the marketing support guide. So again, another one that I would crown. With that, I can hand it over to Alex if he's on the call. If he's not, I can quickly walk through this.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, suddenly came into the picture. Thanks, Owen. Yeah, that introduction from him, and especially the resources when it comes to like the Notion page that we have, is extremely rich in basically everything that you need to kind of kickstart your app. What we also have is additionally in the docs is a bit more technical. And this is especially something that we wanted to give everyone basically into their hands. It's just a bunch of pretty useful Solidity resources. So, you're going to have to do a lot of work on your smart contracts, obviously. And for that, you essentially just need two things, right? Which is a lot of just good tooling, which is Remix, which is your VS Code, which is your Foundry, your Hardhat. So your classical tooling. And what you also need, can we move slides? I think, or you can. Yeah. So we will have, and what we also have is just like a bunch of just resources for you to just, kind of see what has already been done, right? Because you don't have to really start from scratch. It will save you a lot of time, and you will definitely learn also a lot when you just interact with and just, kind of get to know just the top of the range smart contracts that are in Ethereum. So for example, starting off like just like simple official documentation from Solidity, then from a Solidity language documentation to just some cookbook where you just can find like existing smart contracts that are like pretty curated, or even go into just pretty much the de facto reference from OpenZeppelin, which provides like a lot of reference contracts for ERC20s, ERC721s, ERC1155, proxy contracts, essentially everything that you might need, or just general utils, everything that you might need for your, for writing your smart contracts and for writing a dApp. What we also have is like with an emphasis on DeFi, we also just give you like some more links for Uniswap. Plus, we're going to basically whatever we find in our day-to-day work, we will also add to that knowledge base. So the later time goes on, you will probably even find more and more resources there. Just existing contracts from great dApps that allow you to just kind of take their code if license permits it, obviously, or even just look at core ideas of these contracts that you might want to implement in your dApp as well.
Great. Yeah. With that, we can jump to Q&A, and I think I might have some builder questions here, and want to just again re-highlight that I think there's so many YouTube videos out there that I don't want to pretty much bore everyone with the 30 minutes that we do have on how do you go about spinning up a Uni V2 fork. I think there's plenty of 10-hour videos on this, or Claude, OpenAI, etc., that you can go after. So yeah, again, want to preface this and hope that everything that we kind of discussed here was tangible to you all. But yeah, with that, I definitely want to open up to Q&A. And Alice, let me know if we have either a chat that I should be looking out for, or we can kind of bring up people on stage. Or
I mean, yeah, we have our Discord chats. So if there's any questions, essentially you can just ask there. And that said, I mean, we also have just a vast amount of pretty much we have a lot of just example contracts, basically everything that you have resource wise. So you can already get a lot of help by just getting these contracts or getting to know these contracts, I'd say. Plus, since EVM is around for so long, you can obviously also really consult, and it's actually extremely helpful to actually leverage AI as well. So I mean, ChatGPT, the MetaWeb model is also really helpful. Claude is extremely helpful with this. Even though it's not perfect, so you should be really careful actually when trying to take a contract from there. You might get some really nasty bugs in it.
You definitely need an audit.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So it looks like, Alex, are you talking about official Say Discord or any other server?
Yes.
So guys, there's the official Say Discord server where you're always going to have access to the Say team, ask some questions and everything like that. For those of you that are participating in the hackathon, we have the private Telegram group for everybody that's participating. Inside of there's direct topics to engage with the Say team, whether it's on questions or smart contracts or any other technical assistance you might need. As of right now, questions generally are just coming out of the chat. Doesn't look like there's really any in there right now. But
good stuff. Yeah, I think for anything else that needs to be asked, definitely in Telegram, I'm going to pop myself into a Telegram and drop some links in there anyway. And would probably just, I can open up my services and probably I'll speak for Alex. I'm just anything you do need, you can ping us there. And honestly, it's better, right? I have a bunch of people on this call. It's better just to work one-on-one with folks and just kind of get an understanding of maybe some of their strengths, where we can maybe partner you with another builder, either within our eco, either someone more technical or someone more marketable, and get you kind of running. So any blockers that you do have, we are here to unblock those, and I can also drop in guides for everyone.
Sweet. Awesome. So last question, looks like in the chat on is, are we going to be able to get a copy of the PowerPoint?
Yeah, of course. I'll drop in the PowerPoint and then all the links as well. Maybe we should ask the user probably where, if they're in the Telegram chat.
Yeah, if you want to drop the PowerPoint, I can upload them onto the hackathon site and the Telegram and make it easy.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Sweet. Well, great presentation, great workshop, guys. Oh, and that was awesome. We have another session coming up tomorrow, I believe. Let me just double check. Yep, wallet integrations and dynamic authentication. So with that, guys, again, big thank you to Alex and Owen. And for all of you watching, if you have questions, again, feel free to reach out directly in the Telegram to any of the admins. We'll set you up with the SAY team. And then if you want to take it even further, it sounds like one-on-ones with the team or something that's always on the table too.
100%.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks guys for the time. Everybody have an awesome start to the week, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the next one.
You bet. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Out.